Okay, good morning. How are you? I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your Saturday. First and foremost, I just have to say this is going to be a pre-launch, no premiere video today because I am actually at a wedding. It's my little brother's wedding, so I'm at that right now. I forget what time I'm uploading this, but it might be around the time of the wedding. So anyway, thank you so much for clicking on this video, even though it is not a premiere. But yeah, today is another installment in my weekly Will I Buy, talking about new makeup releases, where I like to sit down with you guys and scroll over the newest launches that happened in the past week and share with you guys whether I plan to pick them up, what I think about the release, and just kind of talk all around, just talk about my opinions and my thoughts on the new release that has come out. And yeah, we do this every week, and I'm glad that you've tuned into this week, even though, like I said, I usually do these as premiere just so we can chat as it goes along, but this week is not going to be that. Really quick, I did want to also give another little announcement that I am going to be having to take a break. I know, again, I feel like I just said this to you guys, but I'm going to be taking another break starting this week. I'm going to take 2 weeks off from my Will I Buy because I'm going to be having family coming into town. They're going to be staying for 2 weeks, and I'm not going to be filming while they're here, and there's just no way I can pre-film these Will I Buy videos because they're about new releases. So anyway, I do still plan to upload new content throughout the next 2 weeks. I'm not taking it off completely. I plan to have at least 2, 3 if I can manage it videos every week, but there's not going to be a Will I Buy is basically what I'm saying. But just want to let you guys know up front, in case you don't make it all the way to the end, that there won't be any for the next couple of weeks. And I'm so sorry that this final one, before I take this little break, had to be a regular upload and not a premiere, but that's just, May is a busy month for me. But anyway, let's go ahead and just get right into it, and let's start talking about all the new makeup releases from this past week. So surprisingly, there isn't a ton. I'm going to go ahead and open up my folder here where I always save it on Instagram, and I'm going to start recording my phone so that you guys can see what I'm seeing over here. Okay, so first I want to talk about, this is from Adept Cosmetics. I mentioned last week, but when I talked about it, I didn't know what the full palette looked like, so I just want to touch on it really quick because we do know what the full palette looks like, even though we don't have a like a launch date or anything. But we do know that this is what the palette's going to look like, and they're going to have a couple buying options, which I think is very unique and a lot of fun and just like a neat way to customize a little bit. But you can buy the palette as it is, which is what you see here. You can swap one of the matte shades for a shimmer, or you could swap both matte shades for 2 more shimmers from their website, or you can swap one of the matte shades for any shade in stock on our website. I guess any shade doesn't have to be a shimmer. Or you can swap both mattes for any shades on our website. So you don't have to keep those 2 mattes. I honestly wish they would have had an option to like take out some of the shimmers to put more mattes, because if you don't know, I'm like a big matte lover. So for me, when I look at this palette, it's just missing a couple mattes in there, like even just 1 or 2 more, because like I feel like there's some in here, you like, yes, they're different. I forget if there's swatches of this. Yeah, they're all different, but I feel like I could have taken out that more neutral beigey one or the pinky one just to be a little bit more agreeable for me, because for me, I'm not someone who is crazy about all shimmer palettes. It's just not my personal preference when it comes to palettes. I like them to have a nice mix, and if there's any one side that's gonna have more, I prefer more mattes than shimmers. That's just me, and I know I'm in like the unpopular opinion, but that is a fact that I can't deny. So anyway, let me see if I can show you guys swatches so you guys can see what this looks like. No, that's not the palette. I'm sorry. There's swatches somewhere. Give me a minute. Here they are. Okay, so the 2 mattes look really fun. Like I like that really hot pink. That's a fun pop with that green. I wonder how they'd mix together. I feel like that could be interesting. But anyway, all the shimmers look really nice. I mean, I think this is definitely a palette out of the other 2 that they've launched. This is definitely the one I like the most because I love all the greens up there. There's the blue, but then there's some pinks and reds in there, but they're like more interesting, not just, I don't know, a neutral pink. I think it's neat to have these dark shimmers over here. I feel like that takes me outside my comfort zone a little bit. I don't know, it's just a palette that I can kind of get down with. Maybe it's because, like I said, it has more greens than the other palettes do, but definitely a palette I think is pretty. I don't know if I'm going to be picking it up. I kind of keep going back and forth. It's going to be about $60, it says. 5 shimmers, 1 duochrome, 2 multi-chromes, and 2 matte shades. The palette is magnetic and can be reused with any of their, eyeshadows and whatnot. So it is limited edition, which is a little bit of a kicker. I wish it was a limited edition because I know Adept Cosmetic launches is a little insane. So I think for that reason, I'm just gonna probably try not to get it just so I don't have to worry about trying to get it on launch day. But I'm definitely very tempted. I'm very torn. You can let me know what you guys think about this launch. I'd love to hear if you guys are planning to get it or not, if you'd like to see my thoughts on it, because I feel like I keep going back and forth. One day I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna review it. And the next day I'm like, I don't need it. I can let it pass. So you guys can help me decide. Okay, so Bel Cosmetics is launching new retro liners. Now Bel does a lot of those cake liners, and these are, I guess, more shimmer. I don't think they're multi-chromes or duochromes. I think they're just really shimmery. Here's 4 out of 12 new retro liner shades launching this month. I think they're very pretty. I like the little glitter sparkle to them. I'm not into this type of liner. I just feel like I just like a punchy color. I don't really like the whole shimmer. Maybe it's because, I don't know, it just looks a little, I don't really like the way it looks whenever I use a more shimmery type of colored liner to do a wing. I don't know, for whatever reason. I know that's probably really weird, but it's just something I've noticed about myself. So for me, something like this, I would just use it to cut my crease, and I don't know, I just don't feel like I'd use it enough. Also too, Glam usually comes in the little singular pots, which I prefer palettes just because I get more use out of them and I just reach for them more. So this is all around an easy pass for me, but a really pretty collection, really pretty colors. I'm sure you guys all know this, but Hipdot and Clueless are collabing. I think I might have mentioned it in late breaking news last week, so I want to touch on it really quick, but they're collaborating on this collection together, and I never watched Clueless, so I can't really speak to it in that respect. Maybe I talked about this last week, actually. I feel like I might have mentioned it. If this is a repeat, I'm so sorry. But anyway, the color story is like, it's a pretty if you're into the neutrals because it has those pops to make it a little interesting. But as a whole, it's like an easy pass. I think the bottom row is interesting, and that's about it. So it's an easy pass for me. Also, I don't like fuzzy covers. I get that they're trying to be with the aesthetic of Clueless and whatnot, and it had to do with the movie, but for me personally, I just, the fuzzy covers, no thanks. There's also these lip oils. I think that's nice. I love a good lip oil. I would be down to try the nude, but I'm not gonna buy it just for that. Like, I'm not gonna buy from Hipdot just to try lip oil. This is, I'm assuming, a contour palette, it looks like, or like a face palette. It's a pass for me. Cute that it's supposed to be a phone. I think that is very cute. And then you can buy the whole collector's edition box. They nailed it with the packaging and presentation and trying to get like the movie vibe of it, because I've never seen it, but this seems very much from what I've seen of like the, you know, trailers and little snippets here and there. They did a great job packaging wise, but as far as like the inside of it, it's all an easy pass for me. Bel Cosmetics is launching new nude lipsticks, 11 brand spanking new lipsticks, all of them beautifully, like, look at that etch work. Wow, that's just so pretty. Like, that's something that's so pretty you almost wouldn't want to use. Kind of like with this DG Signature, her lipstick had this etch work in the side that I like felt terrible ruining. It was just so very sad. But anyway, absolutely beautiful. I'm not really into lipsticks. I'm not a lipstick person. I've said this so many times before, and I feel like I have plenty of nudes, and Melt is a more expensive brand, so all around this is an easy pass for me, but an exciting launch from them. I know a lot of people love Melt, and I know a lot of people love their nude lipsticks, so I'm sure this will go over well, and I'm sure packaging-wise, they did it top-notch, because their packaging is always so well done, so nice quality, and so beautifully presented. So ShanXO has a brand called XOBeauty, and she did a collection around her wedding, which I thought was really cool. Let's see, there's a palette, and I think there is a highlighter palette and then some other palette on there. So they have Diamond Baby, which is looks like a darker highlight palette, and then Diamond Baby, and okay, so it's just two different kind of palettes with the same name, right? I'm not seeing that right, am I? I don't know. Anyway, the collection includes the one and only eyeshadow palette, 2 highlight palettes, Bellini and Bouquet. Okay, I don't see where the names are for Bellini and Bouquet, because they do have different names, which makes sense to be able to differentiate them, but I don't see the names. Anyway, and then 3 lip veils, Diamonds, Kisses, and Roses, which I think is really cute, but overall it's going to be easy pass for me just because it's like such a neutral palette, but I think that the idea of the concept for this collection is really cute. I thought that was neat with her wedding. I have watched many of her videos over the years, and I think that's really neat to do something around such a big day in your life. So yeah, a new from her brand, and I think it's out now if I remember correctly. So Kash Beauty is launching this really cool toned gray palette, but they're also doing this yellow palette, which I'm not gonna lie, the yellow palette caught my eye. See my eyes today? They're yellow. So I really was attracted to this palette. However, I know so many people are saying this, but this could have been half the size, and then I would have been a lot more tempted. With it being so big, it's just kind of like, nah, I don't need it. Because I just feel like there's just so many of those beigey yellow tones that it's just like, you didn't need even half of those. You could have done one and easily been enough. And I forget if they're all just shimmers or if there's glitters in there. Some of them look like glitters. So it's overall an easy pass for me, both this yellow one and the gray one. I'm not into grays, but yeah, I agree with everyone when they say this could have been half the size and I would have been more intrigued. Devinah Cosmetics is launching a Halo Moon collection very, very soon, June 10th at 11 a.m. PST. This looks really, really pretty. I don't plan to pick anything up. I feel like I'm always, I don't know, multi-chromes. I just feel like I have enough, and I have enough very pretty types of eyeshadows that while this is pretty, I'm not tempted to buy it, so I'm gonna pass, but I think it's beautiful. Like, that's absolutely gorgeous, and I understand why everyone loves. I've heard great things about Devinah's multi-creams. I haven't tried any of her multi-creams. I have a lot of her shadows that I really do like, but I purchased from her kind of before she started coming out with multi-creams, or before I started paying attention to multi-creams. So yeah, I don't have anything from her, but I've heard great things about them. So they are launching here soon, June 10th, if you are curious, but it's beautiful. They're beautiful to look at. I love looking at these type of videos because it's just like, oh, so pretty. Next up is Dose of Colors is collaborating with Nyma and Tang. I mentioned this in my late break news last week, but I wanted to touch on it really quick. She has 2 lip collections with Dose of Colors. One is red tone, one is like a chocolate tone, and it comes with a liquid lipstick, a lip gloss, a lipstick, and a lip liner, which I think is such a great collection. And really need to see a collection like this with a influencer, like a collab. I think it's just well-rounded. For me personally though, I don't use like all of that enough to need it in like every color. Like, I never use a lip liner. I'd rather just have the liquid lipstick and maybe the lip gloss if it was a color I would like, or maybe just a lipstick. Like, I feel like I wouldn't want it as a whole. I wonder if you can buy it. No, it says lip sets. I don't know if they'll eventually be available, you know, individually, but right now $50 for the lip set, all 4, which I don't feel like is a bad price for Dose of Colors to get 4 for 50. I guess it's 49. 4 for $50 with a collab, but I don't know. I'm going to be passing on both of them just because color-wise, I don't feel like, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't get a whole lot of use. I feel like the chocolate is pretty dark for me and what I like. Maybe it looks like the lipstick is lighter because it does look like the center of her lip is lighter. But this, honestly, this was the one that tempted me the most because I do like that brick type of orangey red, and it looks beautiful on her, but I'm gonna pass. I'm just not into lipsticks right now, and I just don't feel the pull to buy lipsticks, so I'm passing. Kash Beauty is launching this, what is it called? It's their Sculpt Sticks. They have highlight, bronze, and blush cream products. I'm not into cream products, but I think this is a neat launch from them. I'm glad to see them launching something new. I feel like I just talked about them last week. Kash Beauty is a brand that I've had my eye on. I'm waiting to purchase something from them. They're a newer brand, I think launched last year, 2020. But I think it's a really cool collection. You can get, let's see, choose your favorite shades from bronze, blush, and highlight for 50 pounds. I don't know how much that is for in USD, but yeah, exciting launch from her. It's an easy pass for me, but I know a lot of people are into the cream product, so I can see this being a great time to launch something like this. Okay, I'm touching on this. I usually don't try to touch on like sneak peeks without much information or without like the full reveal, but I'm touching on GlamLite's new red velvet cupcakes because I think they're going to show later this week or next week the full reveal, and like I said, I'm going to be taking a break, so I won't be able to show you guys or talk about it with you guys. I'm sure I'll mention on my Instagram, but I wanted to just talk about it in today's video. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be passing on this. However, I'm really curious to see the full reveal. I really like reds, and they've shown one color, which is this red velvet, which is a great red. So I feel like I'd like that, but I have a feeling this is going to be a very like pinky red, kind of in the vibe of like Smoky Glow palette with Midas. I feel like that's the direction this palette is going to be. Maybe they could surprise me. So we'll just have to wait and see, but if it is more pinky red and that's just kind of the vibe of the whole palette, not monochromatic, but just kind of sticking in those tones, I'll probably be passing because I've told you guys many times I'm not crazy about reds and pinks, and GlamLite as a brand I've had okay experience with, not crazy about them as like I feel like a lot of people are. They're just like, they're a nice brand, and if I like the palette as a whole, I'm down to trying them, but overall I feel like this collection is not going to be for me. And that's fine, not saying anything about it, but just explaining why I'll probably be passing on it, but I am going to wait, of course. I want to wait and see what the inside looks like before making my final decision. So I'm really curious. I think they did a great job with the palette and the packaging and whatnot. I'm glad to see it's a regular size, you know, just a rectangle and not some kind of like cupcake shape. I think that's awesome that they're kind of steering more in the traditional shapes just to make it easy for storing, but still going all out on like the palette packaging and the decorations on the front of the palette. I think that's really fun. So super excited for GlamLite. Can't wait to see what's inside. It's Bel Cosmetics is launching these new Pearly Gate loose pigments. They're launching May 16th. $6.99 each, or grab the bundle for $32.99. Karen Harris has a Karen Harris has a cute affiliate code if you want money off. I think this is really pretty. Like, they look beautiful. I'm not into loose eyeshadow products, loose powders and stuff like that when it comes to my eyes. It's just, I can't get over the fact that I feel like it would be too messy, so I always just kind of wig myself out and I never want to try them. So I've had a couple loose products over the years and literally I never use them. So I don't need this. I know I'm tempted to buy it just because I feel like so many people are talking about how amazing its Bel Cosmetics is, and I'm so curious, but this is not the launch for me, so I'm gonna hold out and wait and see what else they come out with. Peachy Cosmetics launched 2 palettes. This is the California, but they also did the Colorado palette. So they're doing a state-inspired palettes. The first one they did was Texas, and I mentioned that before in a Will I Buy It, but now they have California Republic and then Colorado, which is Mile High is what they call it. And let's just look at them one at a time. I like the California, the color story of the California. I feel like it's very colorful, very punchy, and just very interesting. Like, I feel like I'm very inspired to create something. Maybe it's just because it's heavy on the yellows and the oranges in this palette, because I'm very into those colors, especially in the summer. But I don't know. And also too, with their shadows, they're the marble shadows, so part of me is just like, what will you look like when you actually swatch them? That also has me curious, but I think it's a neat palette. I know it's very chaotic in like color and color story, but I kind of see a theme there. They also have this chunky glitter Hollywood. It makes sense to have the star chunky glitter, but I would never touch that. Names are really cute. In and Out. That's the one thing about California that I miss. In and Out. Ugh, that was so good. And you know what's so sad is towards the end of us, I was lived in California for a year, but towards the end, I loved In-N-Out so much, but I got pregnant at the very end, and I actually came to hate In-N-Out because it tasted so bad with my morning sickness. I just couldn't stomach it. So when we went to leave, like, I couldn't even have like one last hurrah and enjoy the In-N-Out burger like animal style with the animal style fries, because I was so nauseous that I just couldn't eat it. So that's the saddest part for me, is that when it came close to leaving, I didn't realize ahead of time that I would be so nauseous, so I didn't prepare and like eat a bunch beforehand. So we left and I was just like, I can't even eat one final In-N-Out burger and enjoy it because I feel so sick. Anyway, that was a bit of a story time. Moving back to this, it's going to be a pass for me. Moving over to Colorado. This Colorado really just is a miss for me. I don't know. It's earthy tones. It's nice, but nothing really jumps out and grabs me in the way of making me want to create looks, except for the greens. Greens always get me, but it's pretty. I guess it's not too bad. I just feel like especially with these state themed palettes, I really have to spend some time looking at it to see the color story, because she's the brand to just kind of like throw all the palettes in there. She has kind of no gradient and kind of what do you call it, just organization to the shadows. They're just kind of all in there sporadically, so it takes me some time with her palettes, but I don't know, just something about it, it just doesn't grab me, so it's a pass for me. Both of them I'm going to be passing, but I'm excited. I'm waiting for her to do Florida. I'm curious what she'll do with Florida or Virginia. I do like Virginia too, lived there for 4 years, but yeah, I can't wait to see the other states. So Urban Decay is going to be doing a collection around prints very soon. They've only been sneaking it. Again, I'm just showing it here because I'm not going to be able to touch on it when they do show the full reveal, so I just want to show you the one thing that they've shown so far. It looks like there's purple in there. It looks like it's a palette that opens halfway like that, which I'm not the craziest about that style, but it looks like they have a more neutral grungy side, and then what I'm assuming on the other side that they haven't shown is the purple side, and it appears to be only an 8 shadow palette, which I feel like is a little small. I don't know, I was just expecting a bit of a bigger palette, but I'll be curious to see what the final look is like. I doubt I'll get it though, just because I feel like I don't like the packaging. If it's a very neutral purple leaning palette, I'm not into purples too, so that doesn't pull me. So I feel like I'm going to be passing, but I really don't know until I see the full color story. So we'll just have to wait and see, but I did want to touch on it that it is coming, and I just haven't done the full reveal. Let me double check before we move on. Yeah, that's not the full reveal, but anyway, yeah, that's all they've shown so far, so we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so my camera battery died, and if the lighting or I'm in a different spot, that is why. Anyway, moving on. V Cosmetics is launching a new palette. This is the Lover palette, and it's a really colorful palette. I am really into when brands like coordinate and more theme their rows, and this one's not too strict in the theming, but there's a little bit in that first row going straight down is like yellow orange, then you have like that green row, you have a blue row, you have a more purple into pink row, and then you have a mix of pink and purple over there. So I kind of like that aspect of it. I don't know, I just think it's fun to do like a monochromatic look and just go straight down, or you can just pop around on the rows, mix it up to get something very colorful. I think that's a lot of fun. This is the Lover eyeshadow palettes. When is it launching? £28. You can get 20% off their palette and their lashes when you buy them together. Thursday, 13th, May 13th. Anyway, so it's already launched. I don't plan to pick it up though. I don't know. I was halfway tempted, but I feel like I'm so inundated with colorful palettes right now that this one isn't speaking to me as much as I like would want, like needed to in order for me to buy it. A lot of these shades, especially the lighter, more pastel or vibrant shades, like the yellow, let's see, the peach, the green, the blue, the pink, even the purple, like on the towards the top, honestly remind me a lot of the Gimme Glow palette that I just got. And also I have the So Clarity palette. So I feel like I have a lot of palettes with those punchy pops of colors. And even the shimmers, I mean, they remind me, like I said, of the Gimme Glow palette. So I feel like I have this already, so I can pass. But I think it's a neat launch from Bel Cosmetics. Very unexpected. I didn't expect this type of palette color story from them. And I think that's always funny when a brand does something a little unexpected and keeps their customers, you know, excited for more and just excited to see what else they come out with. Jouer Cosmetics has launched something. I feel like I haven't talked about them in forever because I feel like they don't launch much. But then they launched this and it's just kind of like, okay, I don't know. It's just a very, I feel like they've done it 10 million times before in the past. It's a different palette layout and stuff like that, a little 9pan palette. It's very pretty. I'm not saying it's not, but it just seems like a very much like a what's that called? Just like a one-stop shop, only one type of look. Because even though they have all these shades, I feel like, you know, it's all going to look very much the same and just very kind of just like wash a color on your eyelid, or depending on your skin tone, maybe even not show up at all, because like this shade in the middle isn't showing up on her, and then this one at the end, and then that one right there, the like white beiges, they kind of look the same on her. So that's what I mean by like, you know, just kind of all look the same. All the eye looks that you do would look the same on you. So I don't know, not into the eyeshadow palette at all, not into the cream blushes, lip duos not into, cream products, cream blushes not into. So this palette or this collection as a whole is just such an easy pass for me. Okay, so Ciate London is collaborating with Edna from The Incredibles. Edna Mode is what her name is. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, who else is MAC collaborating with? Because for whatever reason, when I saw, you know, the Incredible character, I just thought of MAC. But anyway, it's not MAC, it's Ciate, which I think is very unexpected. It's a very interesting palette. Yeah, it's very interesting. Is it a regular palette that you just open? Because like, what is that middle piece? I can't figure that out. Is that middle piece how you like lock in the top? Like, that's where I'm just like, what is this middle piece doing? Is it a part of it? Because like looking at it right here, it looks just like a regular palette that you open. But on the cover and inside the palette is that little middle piece, but they're facing different ways, which is why I wonder if it's almost like a puzzle piece you have to put in to shut. I am just so wrapped up in that. It's not very important, but it's just something I get stuck on every time I look at this picture. But they also have that. They also have these, what are they? Liners, so eyeliners, I think. A reddish orange and a blue. I think those are fun colors. And then this is a powder lip product, which I think is very interesting. Soft matte powder lip. I don't think I'd want a compact for my lip product, but that's just me. The eyeshadow palette itself, this little quad up here I think is pretty, and I don't know, maybe that red down there, I insist. But as a whole, it's kind of like there's just so much space. I'd rather have just had a 6-pan eyeshadow palette and skipped on the blush and whatnot and made it smaller than how it is. It's just, I don't know. It's neat. They were trying to be different. They were trying to be unique. I think they did a good job on that when it comes to the palette, but it's not unique enough for me to want to have it. It's kind of unique to the point where it's like, I don't want that in my collection because it's just big and bulky and I don't love the palette as a whole. So overall, this whole collection is an easy pass for me. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really curious to hear what you guys are thinking about this collection. MAC is collaborating with someone, but this is Cruella. I think it's Cruella and not, yeah, Cruella collection. They are collaborating with Cruella from 101 Dalmatians. They have lipsticks, which have the tops are the split white and black. They have lashes. They have brushes, which have the split white and black, which honestly I think is really cute. And then they have blushes, which is a split pan. I think it's a great idea. But it's the eyeshadow palette that I'm just kind of like, could have gone another route. Because like, I get it. You want the white and the black for Cruella. That makes sense. But like, what are these colors is what I'm kind of like stumped on. It's like you got a really dark mossy green, you got a red, you got a light pink, kind of like my skin tone brow bone color. You got a bright blue, I think that's matte. You have a shimmery silver, you have a white, and you have a black. Maybe it's the palette that's stumping me here, but I just look at this and I'm like, I don't know what I'd do. Like you could put the black and the green together, I guess, the grungy green over there. You could put the blue with the red maybe. I don't know. It's just, I look at this and it's just kind of like all over the place. I would struggle to be inspired to create a look. I feel like it would just be so much work to sit there and be like, okay, what can I put together to create a look? And then also too with the palette, Does it come apart? I don't think it comes apart. I think that's just what the palette looks like. That'd be kind of cool if they did a Cruella where it was 2 parts, kind of like Kat Von D and Too Faced did a long time ago. That would have been neat and have one side, you know, more white inspired and one side more black inspired. I think that could have been cool. But this kind of like 4 of them all stuck together, different parts, and I don't think it comes apart. I don't know. Too chaotic, and it just doesn't go with the shadows they selected. So it's a weird launch in my opinion. It's an easy pass for me. Not into it. So Colourpop is collaborating with Barbie, which is the funnest little collection ever. I think it's so adorable. Here's what the palette looks like, which I think is so interesting. Let me show you guys. I just picked up the Half Cake Makeup. This is a snack pack. Isn't this just like a condensed version, an all matte version of the Barbie palette? I was looking at it, I was like, oh my goodness, that literally is. They have the blue, they have the red, they have the yellow, they have the orange, they have that more like brownish neutral color, they have more of a, you know, light pink. It literally is just, you know, this is like a condensed version of that. I'm not saying that they copied them. This came out before this was even launched, but I just think that's so funny that this color story and this scheme for summer was like, it kind of, I already own it, basically, when they came out with this. So I thought that was too funny and had to share. So obviously I don't need the Barbie palette. I'm going to be passing on it. I don't want that big of a highlighter. No, thank you. Lip collection, not into it. I don't know. It's very cutesy. I think it's cute. It takes me back to my childhood when I look at it, but it's not cutesy, and I'm not that big of a fan of Barbie that I would buy it just to have a palette Barbie inspired, if that makes sense. And like I said, I literally already have the colors here, and I like working with all matte, so I don't mind that. But anyway, it's a really cute collection. I think they did a great job presentation-wise. Okay, how come I haven't heard anyone talk about this, but Makeup Revolution Cosmetics has launched a new brand called ReLove by Revolution. I don't know if this is just like not available here. I feel like I saw it at Ulta, but I could be wrong. Anyway, they have a new brand. Makeup Revolution has another brand. I don't know how many this makes. 7, 10, 12, 50? They have a lot of brands, but they have ReLove now. And it piqued my interest because they have these serums, super serums. And I was like, oh, a serum foundation? That sounds kind of nice. But yeah, it kind of just gives me, honestly, Elf Cosmetics vibes. If I'm going to be really blunt, when I saw this, I was like, oh, Elf Cosmetics? Oh no, it's ReLove. Who is ReLove? Oh, it's Makeup Revolution. So I don't know. I figured I would share it with you guys and see if you guys have heard anything about it. Like, I've literally not heard really anything about it until I stumbled across that promo that I saved there. And I saw the serum foundation. Let me know what you guys think about this brand. I feel like it's a little exhausting with Makeup Revolution and all their sister brands or whatever you call it. I wish I don't know, just too many brands to keep up with. But I am still very much interested and intrigued by that serum foundation. All right, so that is everything for this week. I feel like it was relatively quick. I feel like I still talked a lot, but not, you know, that I was running through products and whatnot. It's just, I was just a chatty Katie today. But anyway, as always, late breaking news are going to be over here. If there's anything that comes out that I want to touch on, just so you guys know my thoughts on before I go on to like a 2-week break, but just so you guys know my thoughts on and that I've seen it and I can give you guys a little snippet of whether I plan to pick it up or not. I think I pretty much passed over everything this week. There really wasn't anything except for the Adept palette, but again, we don't know when it's launching, so it could be months from now. But that's the only palette that's pulling me right now, and I'm just kind of like, I'm slightly tempted. So there were a handful of releases, but honestly, nothing that interesting. It was kind of a lot of boring releases, and maybe I'm alone in saying that because I feel like, you know, with the MAC release, I think MAC didn't have a very good, you know, very good reception. But with the prints, I know a lot of people are excited with the Urban Decay and prints. I know a lot of people are excited with the Colourpop and Barbie, and I know a lot of people are excited with the Hipdot and Clueless. So I know a lot of people are excited for these launches, but I'm over here just kind of like, oh, I'm passing. So that's just kind of how it is for me right now, and that's okay. Saves my money. I'm not over here complaining that there's nothing that I'm attracted to. I have plenty of palettes to work on over here, but I just like to kind of recap here at the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below in the comments, as always, what palettes, what new launches are catching your eye. Did I miss anything new that come out? Feel free to let me know that down below in the comments so I can learn about it and get cued in on it. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I know I say this every time, but I really do appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to sit down with me and look over all of these new releases. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, if you want to continue getting daily content from me and also kind of stay up to date on what I think about new releases, because I tend to share them to my story whenever they're announced and stuff like that. If I like I'm going to do for the next 2 weeks, since I know I'm not going to be recording a video, I'll try to share new releases on my Instagram stories and give you guys my thoughts and if I'm going to buy it or not. So you can follow me over on Instagram if you're not. I'm LadyKatie92 over there. And yeah, with all that said, I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye guys.